So now let's learn about some of the advanced type of props in TypeScript. Our first example is this. So as you see, I have a home component getting returned here and the component is empty for now. So let me pass one name as props, which will be Nishant. Let me get it here. So props. Okay, props. So we have to define a type here that you already know from my previous videos, if you have asked them. So type will be, let's say, home type. In here, we will define the type of the prop that we are passing from here, which is name. So name will be string. Just feed the home type to this props here, and everything will work fine. We can render the props here, but let's leave it for now. Now what we will do is, let's check. In this example, we will do this. So we will check if props.name is equals to Nishant. Then we will console.log Nishant. Fine. So this is done. So if the props.name that we are passing is Nishant, it will print Nishant in the console. Same way, if we pass something else called, let's say, like else if the props.name equals to Shailesh, in this case we will print Shailesh in the console. Fine. So the problem here is we are sending Nishant here, but if the name is Nishant, it will print Nishant. If the name is Shailesh, it will print Shailesh. But what if we pass Abhishek here? So what would happen in TypeScript is this should throw an error here, but it does not, because name is neither Nishant or Abhishek. I mean, name is neither Nishant or Shailesh. It is Abhishek. So this TypeScript should throw an error. For example, to fix this, we can simply add template literals and the names here. For example, let's add Nishant here. One name, then one this thing, which is a pipe, I think, or something like that. Then we have to add Shailesh, the second name that we should get as an option. Now, the name that we are passing should only be Nishant and Shailesh. So if you check here, we will get this error that Abhishek is not assignable to type Nishant or Shailesh. This means, or if you add third name here using this pipe or whatever it is called Abhishek, the error will resolve. So this was the first type of props in the TypeScript advanced prop type. Now let's look at the children props. So let's remove this here and just render the home as the full tag, not the cell closing tag. Let's remove the type, or leave the type, remove the text inside and all of the things here. Fine. So let's pass some text here, which will be, this is the home page, and we will get an error that says that it has no properties in the type, like it's empty. So we have to define the children type here, because we are passing it as children, this text. So just make it as a children and add a string, because we are passing string. Now all your errors will go away now, because we are having this. So we can simply render it out like this, called props.children, and it will work fine. If you change anything inside, let's say we make this as props.abc, we will get an error here that this does not exist on the type, home type here. Fine. This was children props in TypeScript. Now the next type of prop is called React Node prop, and it's different. So for example, let me create a component here called name.tsx. Function component this will be, and let me call it or return it in the app.tsx like this. import name like this. So we will do the same thing. We will pass it as children in the home component. So in the home we have name, and in the name we are passing this text. Let's make this as, this is the name page. Fine. So come over to this home.tsx, and this type of prop will be not valid because it is not a string. This thing, it is not a string, it's something else, and this is called React node type. So we can say React dot React node, and if you save this, the error will go away. But it's not going away because in the name page we also have to define a type for this text. So just copy this type of this type, and or just say type name type equals to this. It's receiving a children, not chicken, children, and it will be a string. Now just copy the name type and assign a props here, and add the prop type to this props, and the error will go away. So this was the type which is called React.React node. The next type is called our event props in TypeScript. So for example, let me create one component here called button.tsx. Let me make it a functional component like this and call it in the app.tsx. So import button from components button, and let me return it here. Fine. So let's suppose we have a type here which is type of button type, and that the thing we will pass here, let's say we pass on click here, on click, and let's say we pass one function. Okay, let's say we pass something called or a function. So const do something, so we can pass it here like this, but if you hover this, that this says that this on click event is not here in the button, so I have to create a type for this. So we can get the props, but it will throw an error that we have to read the value. But first let me add the type of button, button type. So we are passing on click, so it will be this type, an event type, which will return void. It means nothing. Now just assign the button type to the props here, and the error will go away. So we write void here because this button on click event is not returning anything. So we can simply assign this on click, this props dot on click, and it will work like this. So we have no errors, and this was the event type that event props in TypeScript. But what if we have to pass one event here like an e? So we can pass it here like this, not here, in this on click, but this will throw an error that the type of this e is not here. First of all, let me get e here, and then we have to define the type. So the type is something like this. So first we will wrap this in a React mouse event. So say React dot mouse event, and in the mouse event we will do this. We will have a type called HTML button element, which means that on click of the button this event will be triggered. That is why we are having this HTML button element type in angular brackets. But the problem now appears here, that this is, what is that problem? That this is not assignable here. So we can simply type this, assign e here. Simple. Now the error will resolve in both places. But if we pass E here, we have to get it here, because in this do something, we have no events. So get it here, the error help will resolve, but not here. So in this case, we have to define one more type, and the type will be the same, React.mouse event HTML element, button element. If you add it here, we will get no errors. So this is how we resolve event types in TypeScript.